Hello world, welcome to episode 110 of the Jimmy Can Show, classic people card retrospective time. It is WCW Starrcade 90 Collision Course. Let's talk about it, all right? This was an NWA event promoted by World Championship Wrestling, held on December 16th, 1990, St. Louis, Missouri, at the Kiel Auditorium. Attendance was 72,000, which is about 77% capacity for the venue. Not too bad. Broadcast live on pay-per-view, later released on VHS, courtesy of Turner Home Entertainment. Action called by Jim Ross, Paulie Dangerously. 14 matches, thanks to 7 tournament matches. So a lot to discuss here. Let us get into it. All right. Opening contest, beautiful Bobby Eaton took on the Z-Man. Not too much to discuss in this one. A little back and forth, kind of lackluster finish. Eaton gets the win with an inside cradle. This was kind of the start of Beautiful Bobby's singles push. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, Stan Lane had pretty much decided to kind of retire, step away from wrestling for the most part. So Bobby had to, forge a new path for himself, and just kind of started things off down that road for him. Next, let's start talking about the Pat O'Connor Memorial International Cup Tag Team Tournament. Boy, that's a mouthful. We discussed some of the qualifiers earlier. The first contest in the actual tournament, the event, saw the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, taking on the South African team of Sergeant Kruger and Colonel de Klerk. Steiners, to nobody's surprise, advance in this one. Smiley and Adams representing the United Kingdom. Next, taking on the Mexican duo of Rey Mysterio Sr. And Conan. Luchadors get the W in this one, and they advance. And then we got one more tournament match up. I do believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it was Muda and Saito taking on the New Zealander tandem, the Royal Family, Jack Victory, Rip Morgan, and obviously Muda and Saito advance in this one. I mean, they've been hyping up Muda and Saito and the Steiners for a long time, so we all kind of know how this thing is going to play out. So left us just one first round match, but we have some other matches in between before we get that final match between the Soviets and the Canadians. So let's get into those other matches, and then we'll circle back to that one. Michael Wall Street with Alexander York in his corner, taking on Terry Taylor, who would shortly become Taylor Made after this. So Wall Street gets the win here, and they're still building him up with his new gimmick. So not a real big surprise there. And I think it was pretty shortly after this that he departs WCW and heads back to the Fed and turns into IRS. And then Taylor becomes the Tailor-Made Man, and he's now represented by York. So it's kind of a little funny here that York was, representing Wall Street in this one, and then, within a few months, she's turned around, she's managing Taylor. So next, one night only reunion of the original Skyscrapers, Dangerous Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious. Everybody thought this was going to be a long-term thing. Spivey shows up for one night, and that's kind of it. They take on the duo of Big Cat and Motor City Madman. The reunited Skyscrapers, defeated the duo of Big Cat and Motor City Madman. But like I said, there's not really a lot to elaborate on here because it was a one night only type thing. Next up, the team of Wildfire Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton, taking on the Freebirds, Jimmy Jam Garvin, Michael P.S. Hayes. Morton's tag partner, Robert Gibson, was out there in their corner. Freebirds had a little Richard Marley in their corner. The tandem of Morton and Rich get the victory with, I believe it was an inside roll-up. Kind of put an end to the makeshift tandem of Rich and Morton here in their feud with Freebirds. Final match in the first round, Soviet duo of Zangief and Kazimov advanced over the Canadians. So our second round matchups have the Steiners against Mysterio and Konnan, and the Soviets against the Japanese duo of Muda and Saito. Steiners will go on to defeat Mysterio and Konnan and advance to the finals, as did Mr. Saito and Muda, who defeated the Soviets. So, big shocker. It's the Japanese tandem of the great Muda and Mr. Saito against United States Tag Team Champions Rick and Scott Steiner brothers. So, it was handwritten was on the wall that this was what we were going to get when this tournament was announced, because they kept talking about these two teams pretty much exclusively since the tournament was announced. Before the finals, Total Package Lex Luger takes on Stan the Lariat Hanson, looking to capture the NWA United States title. This was a lariat match. Luger ends up getting the win in this one and recapturing the title, and it kind of put an end to Hanson's tenure in Turnerland, and he headed on back to Japan. Horseman get another shot at Doom for the NWA World Tag Titles here, but this time NWA World Television Champ and Force AA Aaron Anderson is joined by Barry Windham. It's been Flair up to this point trying to dethrone Doom, butcher Ron Simmons, and now Flair is not in the picture for this particular match. One, it was Flair that helped earn them this rematch for the title. I wonder what Flair's going to be doing tonight. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Doom ends up retaining in this one. This one was a street fight. Like I said, Doom retains. Wasn't without controversies. It was a double pin. Windham having Reed pin with an inside cradle, and Simmons having Anderson pin, simultaneous pin. It's rolled and draw. Draw goes to the champions. And brawling ensues post-match. Now we get the finals of the Pat O'Connor Memorial International Cup Tag Team Tournament with the Steiners against Muda and Saito. Steiners come out victorious in this one, adding another accolade to their already very decorated trophy case. So there you have that. And then finally, in a cage, Sting and the Black Scorpion clash for the NWA World title, thus putting an end to this Black Scorpion storyline, and it went way off the rails and ended way differently than they originally intended it to. If memory serves, I'm pretty sure Al Perez was who played the Scorpion for one of the encounters, was supposed to ultimately be revealed as the Black Scorpion, but he didn't like creative or what have you, and opted to leave WCW before this thing could play out. They had to play an audible here and figure out how they were going to, close this thing out. And as you can tell, the very prominent jawline there under that Black Scorpion mask, the Scorpion ended up being none other than the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Sting did retain before unmasking Flair, so there you have it. That was Starrcade 90 Collision Course. The Black Scorpion story is over, thank God. And we got to rate this thing. So my 10 belt scale. Really, you know, really not that great of a show. A lot of the show centered around the tag tournament, which didn't really have any big payoff. It wasn't like the winners got anything out of it. So it was just a lot of tag action, very typical for WCW, being very tag heavy shows. This one, no exception. While the quality of the matches wasn't all that bad, there just was no real story here. You know, the two biggest stories, I guess you had three decent stories, or I shouldn't say decent stories, you had three stories. You had Luger trying to recapture the United States title, got some payoff there, not too bad. You had the Doom Horseman stuff still going on. That one, meh, kind of lackluster finish there with the draw. And then we finally got the culmination of the Black Scorpion story arc, but we all know how I feel about that one. So 10 belts. Just because the quality of the actual wrestling was pretty decent. I'll be generous here, and I will give them a 3 out of 10. So there you have it. So that was my review for Starrcade 90 Collision Course. Black Scorpion angle is put to bed, and we can move into 1991 and some interesting things going on in the world of wrestling once we hit 91. Next up on the Classic Retrospective, we'll look at the 1991 Royal Rumble. So there you have that. Wherever you are, I hope you're all doing well. Give the channel a like, share, a subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. Take care of one another, and I will see you all when I see you.